I'm like dancing to the music. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Kat, the nurse flipper. Do not know. I'm joined by Rod, picking and punching, my co-host. And down below us, they have both been on before, but I don't think they have been on since Rod has been the co-host. I think the last time Julian, Bearded Thrift, was still here. So we have Derrick from Fundmentalz and Miss Regina Michelle with us. So we're happy to have them back. I'm going to make them big, let them introduce themselves, get your questions in early. I put it in the intro. I'm telling you, we already have 11 of them and we haven't even started. So if you want them answered, get them in early. And here is Mr. Derrick.
I'm a Virgo. I like long walks in the park. My name is Derrick. Fundmentalz on most of the platforms. I am I guess you could say full-time reseller. I do a little bit of everything. Me, my co-host, I don't call it co-host. Me and my sis, we've had a show on YouTube for 3.5 years now. We haven't missed one Wednesday for 3.5 years on YouTube, called Hump Day Hangout on Wednesdays, and that's our main thing. That's what we do. We rock it out on there. We build a good community, and glad to be back, Phil.
Perfect. Here's Regina.
What's up, beautiful people? I am Regina. I work a full-time job and I sell on eBay part-time, and I primarily sell clothing, and I will sell small hard goods and media items. I also have an antique booth, and I've been reselling for about 10 years now. And Hump Day Hangout is every week. Co-host Derrick.
You guys must have started right at the same time that I did, because I think I'm coming on, like, I'm just past 3.5 years too.
Yeah,
I've missed 2 though. I've missed 2.
They got you
the
beat,
show.
Kat.
Yeah,
Slacking.
I was like dying one time and I totally missed it. But the other time we had people fill in for us, so the show went on without us.
Yes, I think we had one. We had one time we filled in. We had was it Derrick and Jasmine?
We had
TJ and
April to fill in before.
But TJ and April fill in.
Yeah.
Yes. So, besides that,
that's what I try and do too, because I think everybody gets used to it every week. So they that's what they're doing at that time on that day of the week. They are there for sure.
Yes.
All right. I had to put it in because Lisette was here bright and early, and she shares the show out on Instagram for us every week. So I greatly appreciate you. We are happy you are here really, really early here. So thank you for being here and for sharing every week. I greatly appreciate you, Miss Lisette. And then Miss Laura says, can you please explain the process of delisting and relisting? What do you do first? Should I copy and save my description? I'm just confused about how it works.
All right. Delisting and relisting. The great thing with, depending on what platform you sell on, a great thing with eBay is you can do it in bulk. You do it from a desktop. You go to whatever items. I normally do it. It's different for everyone. I normally do it from the oldest item listed. I do 100 at a time. And I literally click on all of them. I end the listing. I go to my ended listings. I click on all of them again. I hit sell similar. And it pulls it all up on the screen. Now, what I like to do, since they're that old and didn't sell, I'll decrease it by like 10%. And you can do that in bulk. You click all of them again, put the percentage you want to decrease it by, it decreases it, and then I'll post them. It pulls over everything for you, so you don't have to worry about losing that information.
Perfect.
Yeah, bulk listing is a great tool to use, but I don't use it because I don't have that many items in my store. I have about 200 items right now, and I'm trying to decrease that right now. So I just end the item and sell similar, and I may decrease it.
Yeah, so what I normally do is just like Derrick, I start with the oldest items in my shop first and work my way forward. But I only do, instead of doing like bulk doing like 100 a time, I try to do about 10 a day. And the reason for that is I start my day when the first thing I do in the day is, so that way my eBay store has activity. I end it, hit sell similar, and then I either adjust the price. I usually always adjust the price, because if it hasn't sold in 3, 4, 5 months, either it's unless it's like a high-end collectible, which I'll just relist at the same price. But usually I'll adjust the price to drop it down a little bit because I want these items to move. I'm not trying to pay for storage here. I'm trying to get things moving. So it's a good way to create activity in your store, but also to get new eyes on your items at a better price, a better deal.
Yeah, so I think this question is a great reason to say why we do the panel, because you see all of us are doing it differently. I do mine. I click on which items are ending that day. And if it's over 3 months old, then I end all of those, because you can click on ending today. I'll choose the ones 3 months or older, and then I end them, and then I bulk hit sell similar. I haven't been changing the prices because I send higher offers by the date the stuff was listed. I've started putting the date it was listed in the SKU, so I know when I put it, so I can see how old it is. And I try and do how many ever. Today it was 145 I ended and sold similar, but I have a store with 6,000 items in it. So, and a lot of those sell that have been here for a while that I'm ending and selling similar. But yeah, so you don't need to worry about the copying or any of that. Just end them and then click sell similar. Some people just relist them, but I prefer sell. Are all of us doing sell similar instead of relist?
Yeah.
I do sell similar.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Some people just do the
relist.
The relist, but I think it gives it a new number, so I do the other way.
So I was told that it gives a new number if you relist it now too. I don't know how true that is. I haven't. Maybe you need to try that out. But I mean, for me, if it's not broken, why fix it? So I'm a creature of habit. I've been doing it that way for years, and it works. So
yeah. Miss Diane says, how do you set a shipping profile on Whatnot for an oversized package? Standard is 12 by 12 by 12. I heard they will charge the seller the difference. And also, is Mercari now requiring dimensions?
I will have to defer that one. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, I just started selling on Whatnot, and I just do the priority, the flat rate. So I'm not sure about the oversize.
yeah, I don't put any measurements in my listings on Whatnot, and I just let them combine shipping and just send it out. So I've had no issues on the way. But Kat would probably be a better one to answer this question here.
Yeah.
Oh, because Kat sells little stuff on Whatnot. I sell handkerchiefs and jewelry. And that's one of the reasons. Chris was on with us. You might want to message him, Buck Mountain Barn. He was just on with us a few weeks ago, and I know he got hit with a bunch of fees. I've never seen a place on Whatnot for dimensions, only for weight. So I would say I would try not to sell anything that goes in bigger than a 12 by 12 by 12 box. We've had some that are pretty close with the linens because I've been selling like tablecloths, so a little bit bigger stuff. But they will charge you the difference. And I listed one on Mercari today, and they didn't require dimensions. Yeah. And that was a sneaky, sneaky way, guys. You could have something that's 20 by 20 by 20. They do not make you put it in, and you can get your shipping way cheaper than anywhere else.
Going back to the Whatnot part of it too, remember though, Whatnot gives you 5 freebies, like 5 mess ups. Right. So I don't recommend putting the dimensions on there, because if you're manually changing it, they may charge you for that. So it's better off to just ship it off, take the slap on the hand, you get a little ding, but you're allowed to get 5 dings a week.
If it's not more than 5, if it's not more than 5.
So you're better off just let it ride.
I just had to put this up there. Lilith was in my pop-up I just did. So I did a pop-up selling handkerchiefs this afternoon. So thank you for your purchases. I did it again. I schedule my pop-up and then I start the wrong show. So people are all confused. The last 3 times I did pop-ups, I did it. I still have not learned from my mistakes. So I think there's still one that says for 3:30 today, because I started on tomorrow nights by accident. And so I'm a mess when I make pop-ups. Miss Valerie says, I just noticed a positive feedback where the buyer said the item condition was less than described. I showed flaws in listing. Would you reach out to the buyer or let sleeping dogs lie?
A win is a win. A win is a win. Take that dub and roll on.
Yeah, it's a positive feedback.
I agree, man. If it's not broken, why fix it? Listen, wins don't have to be pretty. Just keep on moving.
Listen, I have like 3 of those in like my recent feedbacks. One of them was a 60-year-old map, and it said poor condition. It's 60 years old in a piece of paper. Like what? But it was positive. It was positive, and I'm like, do I respond like, "Hello, this is a"? I thought about it. I will not lie. I thought about it, but in the grand scheme of things, I did not respond. Leave it be. It's a positive feedback.
Have any of you guys got a negative comment, but it was positive? Like, this was the worst thing I ever got. And then they buyer accidentally put positive instead of negative. And you're like, ha, joke's on you.
Yep. That's what you get.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah, it's like crazy. Whoops. Chance, you can put in box dimensions, but yes. I suggest you do not, because they will charge your buyer more. If you don't put the dimensions in, then your buyer's going to save a lot of money.
You got to remember that. Yeah, like Macari, whatnot, Posh, they're shipping rule of averages. You know, they have a shipping deal where they can, you know, so they win some, they do some, but along the way, it's just better for them to do it this way.
Be realistic. Be realistic.
Yes.
No, listen, I had like a almost 30-inch box on there. I'm like, nope, we'll just put the weight.
Don't put the full table or.
I didn't put the wrong dimensions. I just left it blank. I didn't lie and say it was 12 by 12. But
Cat she's sending out snowblowers and medium flat rates.
Why not? I've been getting away from big stuff, man. It gets so nice selling like all this little stuff. I'm like, man, I have a meat slicer I need to list, and it's like a $500 to $1,000 meat slicer I got on auction, but it's like 80 pounds. Man, maybe I should sell it on Mercari.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Small flat rate.
I think this is a perfect question for Regina, but I don't know. Derrick might know something too. Lene says, if anyone on the panel sells clothing, do you use a steamer? And if so, what brand? I need to get a good one that's affordable.
I just started selling clothing. I have this infatuation with ironing. I grew up ironing. My mom worked in laundromats for a very, very, very long time. So she presses to learn how to iron, and it's like a style to me. It's beautiful. So I iron anything that comes. That's just me. I'll throw it on the ironing board and go to it. Regina, yeah, that may be a great question for you.
I love my steamer that I got from Amazon, and my favorite color is pink. I have a link in my video if you want to try it out, but it has maximum steam, and it has the little shaver on here that takes off the lint and everything. I don't know what brand this is, but it's pretty nice, and it's very affordable, $29.99.
You bougie, okay?
At $30. She's bougie on a budget.
Yeah.
I would make a good channel name if anybody's looking for one.
Well, here, since you showed her steamer and her, someone that does my laundry too. So it's called Jess. It's my wife. She steams all my stuff and will iron anything that I need ironed. So guys, get yourself a Jess and you'll be fine.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Listen, I actually like ironing too, but there's a but. I don't have time to iron, and I don't go anywhere that I need stuff ironed. I used to iron my scrubs when I was working at the hospital, but I like doing it too, but I don't have time. So my clothing does not get steamed or ironed. It gets listed, wrinkled. If it's really bad, I'll throw it in my dryer. I have a steam dryer that I can kick on, and that helps. I splurged on the extra money for that. If you take that name, you got to give me some credit, Kate. You got to give me some credit. I wonder if that is a name. If it is, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it has to be somewhere.
That's too good. So I don't steam them, but listen, okay. Erin says she about fell over. I've been repurposing vintage linens. I got some stuff off Amazon that takes like the storage stains, like the brown that's on the vintage like tablecloths and hankies. It takes them out, but you have to hand wash them. So I've been doing that, and when I do it, I dry them by ironing them. And then I sold them on Whatnot, and everybody was about to fall over because they know me and they know I don't clean anything and I'm not ironing. but these I cleaned and I ironed them. But it's satisfying. They're like 60-year-old handkerchiefs and they're dirty, and I can get them clean, and then I iron them and they're all nice, and it was
Kat,
therapeutic.
I got a question
Yes,
for
sir.
you. I've been having this. I have a steamer in my closet that I've been wanting to do as a giveaway. Can we do a giveaway later on?
Yeah, we do them at about 9. We've been giving stuff away every week.
Yeah, let's do it. I got one.
Okay, so Derrick at 9, Derrick's going to give away a steamer. Speaking of, so Lene, you got to stay in here. If you can try and strong arm the rest of the chat, you could win it. But I don't know if that'll happen. But yeah, we'll give away some tape, American Bubble Boy tape, and some poly mailers and Derrick's steamer tonight. Cool. Karen, I'm throwing things. Can you explain combined shipping? I don't understand how to do it, since sometimes a second box is eliminated, but other times no weight is eliminated since it was 2 poly mailer items.
With eBay, you have the option to select. There's options. You can go into your shipping options, and you can select do combined shipping, and it generally does it for you. Whenever the buyer asks, I let them know it automatically does it for them. Now, on certain occasions, it does do that. Like it'll combine a couple of things, but only take one weight. If you know what I'm saying, it's some type of flaw in eBay's algorithm that doesn't adjust the shipping sometimes. But if that does happen and it's a large amount, you can always reach out to eBay. They have helped me out in that situation before, but yeah, there is an option where you can have it do it automatically for you.
Yes, I have mine set up. I don't know if it's correct because most of the time I don't get a whole lot of people buying a lot of items at one time, but I will. Sometimes they'll send me a message and ask me to send them an invoice, and I do the difference that way.
Yeah, I do combine shipping on my irons, but I have to manually do it. Unfortunately, I just started using shipping rules right now on my account. So I think I could eventually just add into it so it combines it and stuff like that. But I wish eBay would automatically do it. Something that I'm hoping they're going to be doing. They did announce with their new fall update that they are working on updating that for international shipping, which would be great. Since, if a buyer buys multiple things for you, you have to ship 3 separate packages is the biggest pain in the butt ever. And it pisses off your buyers a lot since they got to pay for shipping for each item, and it's like the worst thing ever. So hopefully they get that fixed. But I would love to see eBay does what Whatnot does. You buy the item, they automatically combine the shipping for you, put it on the package, and then but then with eBay, you can go in there and just be able to adjust it. That would be the ideal situation. But hopefully by 2030, eBay will get that in place.
And don't hold your breath, Rod.
Yeah, a lot of times I estimate it when they message me to send them an invoice. But so if you're newer, it would be hard. I'm pretty good at guessing how much I should give them a discount. If they already paid, I tell them I'll discount or I'll send a refund after I ship if they ask. If they don't ask, I do not send refunds on shipping because they knew what they were going to pay. But if they ask, I just had somebody yesterday buy 2 Christian Dior pieces, close to $200. She wanted combined shipping. Yeah, I'll send you your $5 back. So the problem, and I explain this to buyers, if you've got 2 8-ounce items that are going, that ground advantage under a pound, the price goes up significantly when you go over a pound. So a lot of times with 2 first-class items, especially for me, if they're in California, there's not going to be any difference in the 2 ground advantage price compared to going over a pound. So sometimes there isn't one. I'm like, hey, both these items are half a pound. It's going to go over a pound. If you buy a third item, that would be discounted if it stays in the 1 to 2 pound range. But a lot of times it's not with 2 first class go into over a pound. Well, it's not first class anymore. It's ground advantage. But so I make sure I tell them that, if you're buying 2 first class, don't expect much of a refund. I'll let them know because it's a whole different ball game over a pound, a pretty big difference on those 2.
Yes.
Meg says, do any of us still use Facebook Marketplace? I just did in another, which is OfferUp or Poshmark, and any suggestions to sell better on those platforms. And she's asking if Etsy is the best for jewelry.
On the first part, I retired Facebook. I have a hate relationship, not a love-hate relationship. I have a hate relationship with Facebook, just due to the fact that they can't explain anything correctly. And it just frustrated me enough to just take everything down off of Facebook. I do use it occasionally for local items, larger local items, but that's generally about it.
I used to use Facebook Market in the past to ship out items. I do not go and meet anybody because we've had a lot of people to get murdered in Alabama for real. So I will use it for my antique booth. I have an antique booth and I will list my items from my antique booth and let the people know where they can go get it. But I do not meet anyone.
It's crazy that we're having this conversation now, because 2 years ago, that was going to be the one platform that was going to overtake eBay. Everyone said that the Facebook Marketplace, it already has a built-in, all the built-in users are on there. Not everyone's on eBay, but everyone's on Facebook. It's going to be the next coming, and it has just been such a flop. I only use it to move local items. I don't sell. I find it to be very difficult. I find it to be very tedious, and I find it to be very annoying. Where how many times have you gotten, hey, is this item available? And then ghost. It happens all the time. Unfortunately, I mean, I have a hate relationship as well, just like Derrick there, but I just use it locally, and I find it very cumbersome, to be honest with you. I don't find it very easy to use. You think they would by this point in time, but I just use it to move local items. That's about it. And Etsy, I have no idea. I don't sell on Etsy, so Kat will have the answer to that one.
So Facebook retired me, not the other way around. I'm permanently banned from Facebook Marketplace for selling license plates. And I do have another account, though, that I can't access it, but I've chosen not to list items. I do, like everybody says, I just list my bigger furniture items, and I'll look at items for sale in my local area, because when I'm banned, I can't even see stuff for sale. So I do have another account that I can, but I've chosen not to post stuff on there again, because it's like they're just ridiculous. I wasn't getting a ton.
Yep.
Yeah, and there are a lot more scammers on there than the other platforms from what I've seen. So
Yep.
Yeah, I listen, buddy.
You did 5 to 10, Kat. It's okay, That's 5 to 10. You got out of 3 years on good behavior. So
listen, and as far as jewelry, I got derailed by Scott. As far as jewelry, the best place for me for jewelry is Whatnot. However, it will be hard to start if you don't have a following. I sell more jewelry on eBay and Poshmark than I do on Etsy, but I recommend putting your jewelry on all the platforms you're listing on. Ours is on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari. I buy separate jewelry only for Whatnot. That's not like old inventory or recycled. And yeah, so that's what I do. But now I've started doing linens. We're selling about 300 pieces of jewelry a week and 200 to 300 pieces of linen a week. So I do high volume and lower profit on them, to be honest. I want to move them fast and move in volume. Rosie says, for the panelists with experience selling beauty products, could you share tips for achieving quick sales, and what is your recommended time frame for keeping unsold products before donating?
I'm not like super experienced, but we all get those bulk buys, and we'll get some good products. I would just say knowing your brands, man, knowing your brands and what moves, diving into that Terra Peak and seeing what sells is optimal for you. There's just so many makeup products out there that it's just drowned out. So just knowing your product and knowing what moves faster than others, and how long should you hold it? That really is dependent upon you. If it's not selling fast enough, lot it all together and do a big lot, and I can almost guarantee it to sell for you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that answer. I haven't sold beauty products in a while, but I did used to sell it, and I just check the comps to see how it's moving, and I always make sure I put the expiration date in the title or in the description. But just make sure you check the comps.
Yeah, I don't go out and look for beauty products, but I do come across some bulk buys here and there. And as like Derek said, know your brands, and also too, try to get it as cheap as possible. Because you make your money on the buy, not the sell. Also too, be very careful with the expiration dates because eBay does crack down on that stuff. That's a good way to get your account in a lot of trouble. Also too, a little tip here: if you have an item in your store that's out of stock, and you still list there and the expiration date is in there, you'll get popped for that one as well. Kat knows all about that one.
That was Lindy, I think. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Lindy
Oh,
Glenn got busted on that. It wasn't me. It wasn't Kat.
That's right. But you recommend your time frame for keeping unsold products before donating. So I really don't donate any items. My products, once they get, I take that back. I will donate products from my death pile, but if I list an item in my store, it's going to get sold pretty much one way or another. So I will discount the crap out of that thing from 90% down to I'll take 10 cents on the dollar at that point until that thing moves. So once I've already done the work, I'm just going to keep discounting it or running things or end it and sell similar, relist it at a discounted price. But the work's already done, so why no sense of getting out unless it's something big and bulky, like I just need to move it out of the way because it's taking up too much room or it's it's messing up the business where I could be using that space for other stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, I actually just let some sweaters go from a QVC pallet from 3 years ago for that exact reason. I've already made my money and they've been here for 3.5 years. So I gave them away to the people from the flea market that sell at the flea market. I'm like, please just come get these. I actually did that to make room for Rod's boxes. I'm like, please, it's all new clothes. You can have them. They're brand new because I made the money. And if 3.5 years, I had them down to like $6 a piece, really, really cheap. They still weren't moving fast. I just let them go. As far as beauty products, check and make sure a lot of them have a best by date. So they'll say BB. That's Best Buy. That is not an expiration. So I would not put that under an expiration. I would put it in your description because you might get dinged if it is in the expiration spot. But if it's Best Buy, you can still sell it. That is just when they quit guaranteeing that product. And the big thing with beauty products, make sure you're in a climate controlled area, guys. That stuff will melt just like candles. It will go bad. You need to have it heated or cooled in like a dehumidifier. Just, I'm in Florida, so our humidity is insane. And stuff melts. Stuff melts here easy. The only beauty products I still do are stuff from a boxy charm box I get, and I might keep like one thing I want and I sell the rest and make a profit and get my one thing free. And that stuff, because I list it when the box comes out, I feel like a lot of people use it, they like it, and it sells fast. So I don't have a problem with that stuff really sitting here because it sells pretty fast. I'm with Rod. I don't donate typically if I've already done the work. I did just do those sweaters because they were taking up a ton of space, but typically I will not redonate. What was I? Scott and his nice self. Scott sent $20 for having Regina on, but he subtracted $10 because I had Derrick on.
There you
so
go.
That's a net of $10.
That's a profit. It still came out 10 up.
Scott,
all right, I'm good. I feel like he should get Rod. That's what I feel like. Here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
All right.
That's what you get, Scott. No. Thank you, sir. Mindy says, I'm new to eBay reselling. Why does the buyer pay for shipping and then the seller is billed as well? Do you want to explain this, Derrick? You want me to grab it?
Why does a buyer pay for shipping and then the seller is billed as well? This is for UPS. Why does the buyer pay for I'm understanding but not understanding the question at the same time.
What it is I think we had this last week too. What it is the buyer is paying you for the shipping. They're not paying eBay, and then you are in turn paying eBay for the shipping. So you get that money in they paid, but then you got to pay it right back out. So if you were doing free shipping, you wouldn't get that money in and you would just pay it out. but it's like tax too. If you look, tax comes into your eBay funds and it goes right back out. So it's kind of just like that, where if it's over, you keep the difference on postage, and if it's under, you're going to pay the difference. So it's just the money switching in and out.
Right. You're the middleman.
Yeah. Yeah. For shipping and taxes.
Yeah. And taxes. There you go.
Yep. I'm the boss of me says, do you have a formula for how much you pay yourself and how much you put back into the business? And do you include expenses like List Perfectly, etc.?
I don't, I've been doing it for such a while that I gave up with how much I pay myself, depending on how you file your taxes and all that good stuff. I think it's just all dependent upon the seller. So I don't have a particular formula.
And I don't have a formula either. I am part-time and eBay is not my main supply for money. So no.
So I try to pay myself the least amount of money as possible. And I run everything through my business and try to write off as much as possible. So, if I can run my cell phone, my vehicle, whatever I can through there, then I need very minimum money to live on. And the rest is funneled through the business. That way I could try to reduce the amount of taxes I pay as much as possible at the end of the year. So that's really, based on your individual want and needs. But, if you are, with your business, the whole purpose of a business is to try to protect your money as much as possible. And that's why you want to try to write off as much as possible.
Yeah. So I used to, when I first started, I think I was doing 20% to me. And then I would put 20% into business savings for big buys. And I don't remember. You got to figure it out for you right now. I just pay myself enough to cover bills and whatever I'm putting towards debt. So I pay myself as minimum as I can. I'd rather keep the money sitting in the business. I can always pay myself more if I need to. And all of all of my expenses. Yeah. Exactly. And all I do is write disbursement. So for me, I have a paper check. So I have an S corp because we have payroll. And so there's like a paper check that looks like I'm taking a certain amount every week, and I'm not. I just, whenever I want to give myself money, I write disbursement, give myself the money. My husband's on the payroll too, but he doesn't actually get that check. It's just like an accounting trick, because I want to make sure I'm paying some into Social Security, Medicare. So that's why we do that for me and my husband, but I just pay myself what I want. And like I said, minimum, I keep less than $100 in my personal checking account. I put in money, pay the bills, and that's it. I have the whole Dave Ramsey plan. I have $1,000 in my personal savings just for emergencies, because I was strict on Dave Ramsey a while ago, but yeah, I as minimum as possible. But I would figure out all your expenses, List Perfectly, your eBay fees, your shipping supplies. You want to take all of that out before you figure out your percents. That was how I did it when I did do percents back in the day. Now I just pay myself. Ren says, I keep getting offers from buyers on eBay on items that have already sold. I contacted customer service, but it's happening again. What do I do? I had to cancel an order yesterday.
That's interesting. That sounds like a major glitch in your system. Obviously, you gotta filter. I don't know how many items you have in your store, but you got to filter through them and make sure there's not double listings. So that's what it sounds like. That you may have been listing or relisted some items, and sometimes when you end to sell similar, I don't know if you do that. If you don't delete those ended listings, you're going to end up posting it twice. So you're going to have 2 or 3 listings of the same item. So it's going to show as I sold that already, but in actuality, you have 2 or 3 listings of that particular item. So I will really dive into your store and make sure you don't have duplicate listings.
Yes, I would definitely make sure you look through your store. I've had that happen one time, but I think it was my mistake. So, but I would, definitely reach out to the buyer and let them know that it was a mistake, and definitely reach out to eBay as well.
Yeah, I've never had that happen before. That either sounds like a glitch, or that maybe you accidentally relisted an item, maybe. But yeah, I've never had that happen. I definitely contact eBay though. It sounds like a glitch.
Yeah, I've had that happen, not like frequently, but I've had it happen probably 3 to 5 times over the last few years. And it might have been my mistake. I don't know. I would not cancel that order. I will tell you that. I would find it from another seller. I had to do that with something last week. Or I would offer them something else in my store and offer them either that or a refund. So the buyer asks, because if you cancel for out of stock, you're going to get dinged. eBay's not going to care if it was a glitch or not. You're going to get dinged and you're going to put yourself in below standard. Be very, very careful. Everybody, do not cancel those orders. And just don't. Like, not for out of stock. But I would, like Derrick said, if your store is smaller, I would scroll through those things. If you know which ones have sold, take a sneak peek, see what's in there, and make sure you don't have sold stuff in there. I wanted to just grab this real quick. Antique Bird Lady, and I saw Cape Cod answered you, but I want to answer this for everybody else. Does eBay take fees on taxes and shipping? 100%, yes, they do. So that's why when you refund the shipping difference, you need to account for 15 to 20% in eBay fees before you go give that buyer that excess. I bought something off eBay. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And the seller sent me $1 refund on shipping. And I said, I appreciate this, but as a fellow seller, you really should have kept that for yourself for your shipping supplies. Like, I was just, and she didn't respond back to me, but I didn't ask for it. I didn't care. I knew what I was paying for shipping. And I told her, I'm like, she gave me like to the penny. I'm like, they're charging you fees on that. You know that, right? Like, you just lost money from doing that for me. And I appreciated it, but I got to watch out for other sellers too. You know, I'm like, hey, be careful, because they are taking those fees, guys. You got to be super careful on that. Miss Melody says, when I end and sell similar, it puts a minimum for the buy it now that I didn't originally have. Should I keep the minimum?
No. Nope. You put whatever you want.
Right.
I don't understand the question.
She's not bending and selling similar. She's ending, Rod. She's ending and selling similar.
my mind is it's been a long day.
She might be working out while she's selling similar. I don't know, but I'm just
getting that little workout, this popping that old Suzanne Summers where you can crunch a little like VHS in there. Okay. They put the minimum buy. I put it wherever you want. I usually lower. Anytime I end it, I always lower it than what it previous was. So that way, hopefully, it will get more eyes on it to sell.
Yeah, I would ignore eBay's suggestions.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would not pay attention to it. Top wants to know, do you recommend offering free returns?
This is a common question that everyone always gets, and everyone has their own method and methodology, thoughts behind it. I don't offer free shipping at all on any of my items. That's just me. Either way it go, if it's something that they want to return, eBay is going to take that return back. So that's just me. I don't offer free returns.
I do offer free returns because I sell women's clothing, and we all have different shapes and sizes, and if they don't want it, I'll just send it back because it usually sells fast anyway. So
yeah, you made a good point. I think it really comes down to what you sell. If you're selling safes or like big electronic items, or no, you should not offer free returns and stuff like that. But if you're selling like clothing or something that that's going to be cheaper to ship or even get returns on, and something that has a higher return rate, just the fact like you do have to try it on and stuff like that. So I think it really comes down to what you actually sell, because the clothing does have there's a lot of free shipping clothing and a lot of free returns of clothing. For me personally, I don't offer free returns. I'm pretty much an everything seller, and I have breakables in there. I have electronics. I have a lot of other things. Also, too, I feel like by not offering free returns, but I do take returns, and a buyer has to pay for returns, it helps reduce the amount of returns I have, to be honest with you, because it's a deterrent for people that with a free return, people have a free, get out of jail free card, But with that, if they bought the item for $10, they can return it. It's going to be $7 to ship it back. At that point in time, they're better just keeping it. So I think it kind of helps out reduce the amount of returns, me personally. So
Yeah, and I do it for the discount on fees. So if you're top rated, you get 10% off for offering free return. For me, that's $200 to $300 a month in discount. I pay $2,000 to $3,000 a month in eBay fees, so I'm not getting $200 to $300 a month in returns typically. So it's saving me money. I typically get maybe 2 to 4 returns a month, so 1 a week at most out of 100 sales, so 1 to 2%. It's not bad. And like Regina, it resells fast. And I've had a lot of things resell at higher prices than what I originally took an offer for, and it got returned. So I would say I would do it, because if they're a sneaky eBay buyer, they're going to get a free return on your butt anyways by putting what they know they need to put.
Right.
Aaron wants to know, when's your next dance lesson video, Derrick?
I don't have a dance video lined up, but I actually have some clips. We have some family gatherings, and one of the good things we like to do is we go in the garage and just turn it up, and once somebody start dancing, somebody else start dancing. There's always a camera rolling, so I got some clips that I'm putting together. You know me, I can give a damn. I'll just put it out there. I got some clips I'm putting together, and I'm going to drop on Instagram probably this week.
Awesome.
Perfect. Let's see. Now question for Regina. Hey, Tommy. Hi.
The homie.
Tommy, we need to get you back on. We need to get you on here. Tommy, if you do not know Buffalo Picker, check out Buffalo Picker. Sent a $9.99 super chat. Thank you. Listen, these guys have been around for years with me, all of them. Derrick, Regina, Tommy, years since I was like a baby channel. So I'm gonna give Tommy the original dolphin. This is the one when there was only one. Here you go. Super chat. It's old.
Look at that thing.
That's flipper.
It's like pixelated.
Listen, I know that's like 3-year-old super chat. Miss Karen has a question for Regina. How do you decide what goes online and what goes into your antique booth?
Great question.
Hey. Hi, Karen. Me, because I work a full-time job, I do not have time with all those big packages and stuff. So all of those breakables and stuff that everybody like to get, I put all the breakables in my antique booth. All the big items, oversized items, they all go in the antique booth, because I am not trying to deal with that shipping.
So let me ask you this: how do you do in your antique booth? Because we get a lot of people that always inquire about getting one, if they should get one or not. Is it worth it for you? Or is it profitable for you? Do you get a lot of traffic in there?
I've been getting sales. I haven't been real consistent with my antique booth. My goal with my antique booth is really cheap. It's $121 a month.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of use it like a storage.
Yeah.
And so I won't have so much stuff in my house. But if I really work my antique booth, it'll be very profitable, because I'm still making sales off items, and I haven't even been there in probably about a month and a half or more. Yeah,
I know a couple of people that do that. I had a buddy who set at the flea market because he had a booth there because it was cheaper than getting an extra storage unit, and he was making sales. So I mean, that's a good point. I think a lot of people overlook having that storefront. If you get it really cheap, can be almost another storage where you can make money off your storage.
Yeah, and it supports my hoarder habit.
It is, yeah. It's like a storage display.
Yeah.
If there were booths open here, I would think about it. I really would, just for that aspect. Like I'd have the big stuff listed on eBay too with freight, but I'd have it sitting at the antique booth for sale, so it wasn't taking up room over here.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another question for you, Regina. How long did you have to wait to get your booth?
My antique booth, my friend actually had 2 antique booths, and he wanted to get rid of his, so he subleased his antique booth to me.
Nice.
So I was so happy to get it. I got it I told him that I wanted an antique booth, and it was like 2 months later. He was like, "Hey, I can get you one." I was like, "Let's do it."
That's awesome. Yeah. Here, I think there are like 40 to 50 people on the waiting list when I asked. There's only like 3 within 40 minutes of me. And yeah, so that's why I never really pursued it.
Can I throw this in there? Because I was looking at that as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Vet your antique booths. If you have a lot of them around the area, make sure you vet them. You don't want to get one of these antique booths. If they have a lot of spots available, it probably means it's trash.
It's a good point.
It's like that for a reason. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, mine are all full with like long waiting lists. It's crazy.
Regina, what's the percentage? So you pay your $121 a month, and then what's the percentage they're taking at your booth?
Now, if they pay with cash, it's 10%.
Okay.
If they pay with a credit card, they take 13%.
13. The 3% processing fee.
That's not bad though.
It's not bad.
That's pretty low.
It's not.
Yeah, it's real low.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that they actually take fees when you sell items too. You're not just paying the rent, you're also paying that. So it's good for people to understand that and know.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are more like 20%. They're like eBay and Poshmark fees.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah, that's probably about what mine is. Maybe not even, because I haven't seen anybody leaving. It's always the same one. So mine probably be longer. I should open an antique mall in my barn.
You already have your own antique mall.
You got an antique
I
house.
have 3 different rooms. I got all kinds of stuff. I already have it ready to go. This is a good question. What got you into reselling? It's a multi-tiered question. What got you into reselling? What makes you passionate about it? And what is your advice for part-time sellers hoping to build their business?
What got me into reselling was an accident. You know, I've told this story 1,000 times before. I was an avid shoe buyer. As far as Adidas, I love Adidas. At one point, I had like 45 pair of Adidas. And I got another pair, didn't have room to put it. So I had an option: get cussed out every day by my wife or get rid of a pair of shoes. So I chose the higher route. I got rid of the shoes, sold my first pair on eBay, which I highly undersold them. I look back at it now, and I'm highly upset still. And then I kind of got hooked. I was trying to sell everything on eBay at that point. I was like, oh, I can take this old stuff and sell it on here. And that was 10 to 12 years ago. What makes me passionate about it is the art. It's like the treasure hunt, right? The treasure hunt, getting out there, finding stuff. I think that's almost every reseller's fun part about it. It's just amazing to go out there and find these great products. And I really look at it, we're providing such a huge service for a lot of people. A lot of people can't get out there and find these things, and we're taking the time to put it out there. Now be it, we're putting it up for a higher price, but you got to pay for our service. And that's what we're doing. And what is your advice for part-time sellers hoping to build? Hone in on what you like. When you first starting off, you're a part-time reseller, find out your passion, find out what you like, dive into that, get very comfortable in doing that, get very successful as whatever your definition of success is for yourself. Be successful at it, and then once you get to that level, you can start expanding out and finding other things to dive into. But hone in on what you like and get comfortable with that first.
I kind of fell into reselling because I had a friend that was listing items on Poshmark, and she was making money doing it. And I was like, are you serious? I can just take these old clothes that I'm not wearing and put them on Poshmark and they gonna buy them? And she was like, yes. So she showed me the app and how everything worked. Y'all, I started listing them items on Poshmark. I was making so much money. And so I was like, dang, because I had so many clothes. So I was like, if I'm making this much money, then let me go to the thrift stores. And I just started putting all the items on Poshmark. Poshmark is such an easy platform to learn. It's easy to navigate. So that's where I started at. And what makes me passionate about reselling is I love clothing. I love trends. I love pretty things and definitely making money. So, and
so
for what's your advice for a part-time reseller? For a part, make sure you're because I work a full-time job, you got to be very wise with your time. Because for me, I get up early in the morning. I get up at 4:30 in the morning because a lot of times if you're working a full-time job, you're going to be very tired. Well, I am. So just be wise with your time. Do research on the items that you want to sell, because I started off making a lot of mistakes. I would not check comps, and the goal is to make money. And so I was losing out on money because I wasn't researching. So make sure you research your items.
So for me, I've resold my entire life. I'm what you call a third generation picker. So my grandparents would go to yard sales and just take stuff to a local flea market. And my grandmother used to volunteer at our local church thrift store. So she used to get stuff there and take it to the flea market. And then growing up, my dad had his own business, which was a hauling and tree service business. And in the summertime, we cut down trees. And in the wintertime, we do a lot of hauling jobs where we would meet, go in, people had a bunch of junk, want us to remove it. And then we would deal with a lot of probate lawyers, which a lot of people would pass away, which is sad, without a next of kin. And we would get hired to go in there, clear it out, and they're paying us to take it to the dump. Well, what we would do is we would put it in two different piles, a good pile with all the good stuff. And then we would take that to a local auction. We just take it there, put it there. And then on a Monday morning, they would run through everything in local auction. We get a couple $100 there with stuff. So I kind of grew up with that aspect of things, but I used to go and I was really big into sports cards, sell sports cards there. And one thing I realized as a kid, that my hobbies are very expensive. So I started to buy lots of things to sell off keep the stuff I wanted for my personal self and sell off the other one. It would pay for my items. So I was building collections for free. And then it got to the point where I was like, well, if I can build a collection for free, why don't I buy other collections, just start selling those? And then it just started snowballing and kept going and building and building. As for my passion, I just absolutely love it. It's the hunt. It's the challenge that you get, because, there's times I go out for 4 or 5 hours and I struggle to get $200 worth of items. And there's times that I have, answered an ad. I went to someone's house, and next thing I know, I'm leaving with $20,000 to $30,000 worth of items. Like, you just have these one-off lifetime scores that you just never know, man, what's going to happen next. And you hear all these stories about people like, oh, I found this in my grandmother's basement. It's worth tens of thousands. That stuff really does happen. That happened to me. I literally went to someone's house and I got brand new sealed Castlevania NES game, which, I got almost $10,000 for. Like, I've gotten a ton of other stuff. Like, it does happen, so that's the thrill that keeps it going. You get that little itch, and you just want to keep going. Mm-hmm. And I was a full-time part-time reseller, because for a very long time, I only went full-time about a year ago, even though I was full-time for previously the last probably 10 years, on eBay. But I've been selling on eBay for over 20 years. The best thing I can tell you is sell a little bit of everything, because that way you can find out what you really like. And don't be afraid to take chances, because when you do have a full-time job, you can take chances because you have that other income coming in, because that if you are preparing yourself to become a full-time seller eventually, that's the time to take those chances right there. Make your mistakes, because if you do want to build up to go full-time, that window or those, the opportunity to make mistakes is going to, shrink a little bit, because now you are full-time. You're depending on all this. But I would say Regina hit the nail on the head. You're going to manage your time as much as possible. I can't tell you, I quietly quit my job. I was literally on the phones, just sitting there listing on eBay all day long at my day job. I was doing everything I possibly can, just hated it. But, make sure that you definitely enjoy it. And, I have a passion. I love what I do. And I would say that's the biggest thing. Make sure you enjoy it, because you don't want it to become a second job. You want to become a part-time seller that you're having fun to turn into a full-time seller.
Yeah, so I have been into reselling since like middle school. I am like a natural born hustler. I used to go to Sam's in middle school and buy like sour heads, and I'd buy the big old thing, and then I'd resell them at middle school for more money. So I've been doing it one way or another for a long time. I have an older brother who's 20 something years older than me, big time flea market flipper. He would buy like U-Hauls full of returns. This is way before like the pallet thing. We're talking like 30 years ago. And he would buy like the whole U-Haul full of stuff. He had a big house full of stuff. I used to love going to dig through his stuff. He sold at the flea market every weekend. My parents hated him. I'll tell you, they're like, man, they didn't think it was like a real way to make a living, which is a funny thing now. But I started on eBay in 1999 when my 24-year-old was born. And I did it to be able to make money and stay home with him. And the passion for me, I grew up around it. Plus the big thing this time, I have done eBay 3 or 4 times. I stop. I get bored very easily. If you watch me and what I buy, you'll notice that, because I'll be like scarves. Oh, jewelry. Oh, license plates. Like, I got to change it up because I get super bored, or I will like be like, I'm done. So I had Dalton in 2018 after losing 3 babies. So really sad story. I wanted to be home with him. Took the time off. He was in NICU. I lost a lot of time of my like 6 weeks off by him being in NICU. And I started going back like 1 day a week. I had enough PTO, and then I did 2. And I'm like, I want to be home. So that's what I hit it hard as a part-time reseller. All of the money I made went into buying more, building it up, more and more stuff. I think I had 2,000 listings when I ended up quitting. I wanted to quit at the end of last year, but I got mad at work. I was fed up with the politics and the BS, and I walked out in November 10 months ahead of plan. Did amazing last year, a lot more than I made as a nurse. So yeah, thank you, Meg. It's a tender thing, but basically I don't want to be away from Dalton. It was hard letting him go to school last year. And everybody's always like, oh, I'll babysit. I've never even let grandparents watch this child. I'm so like, cause I lost the other babies. So, I want him all the time with me. He used to love coming out here. Now he's like over it. He'd rather play Minecraft with daddy. But, you know, he's here with one of us. And yeah, put all the money back in that you can, guys. Put it all back in. Don't pull any out. Build it bigger and bigger and bigger, especially if you're wanting to go full time. Don't pull money unless you have to if you're trying to grow the business. Just keep pouring it back in. Lisa, somebody was asking about you on my live today. It was Miss Barbara. She's in the chat. Barbara Florentine was asking about you on Whatnot. Lisa said, thank you so much. The highlight of she wants the beach scene with Dalton. You got it, Miss Lisa. We were missing you on Whatnot today. Here you go. Thank you.
That's terrifying.
His feet were sinking. It was like the first time his feet had sunk in the ocean. He's like, what is going on? He was so mad.
It looked like the dolphin was trying to kill him. I was terrified for him right there.
Listen, that Dalton, I always do that. That dolphin is it's like, he really is a little boss because he's grown up with just adults. His siblings are 21 and 24. So like his vocabulary, the way he talks, he sounds like a little adult, and it's a little too much sometimes, but that child is a mess, and he is rotten. He is absolutely rotten.
That's all right.
And that's the only way. Yeah. When you start over, if you like, when I was 19 and 21, I was like, here, mom, take the kids. I'm going out to the bar. Now I'm like, I'm not bringing that kid to nobody. Like, you know, there's a big difference between 19 and 40, I'll tell you. But, yes, definitely killer dolphins down in Florida. Totally. Totally. All right. Miss Katie said, I am going to auction my friend's Beanie Babies on eBay. There are several, and we're going to do them separately. Can we list them all in the same week, or should we do a few a week?
You can do whatever you like, Katie. It is your world. We're just a squirrel trying to get in that. Yeah, you can do them. You can do them all week. You can do them separate. Just like I said, it just really depends on what you want to do and how fast you're trying to move them. Beanie auctions are abundant. People do them all the time because of the low cost, the low value on them. So they do them in bundles and they auction them all the time. So if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, I would recommend that you do a few here and a few there.
And I do not sell beanies, so I do not know.
So I don't know how experienced you are with Beanie Babies, but please do not go by the comps you see on eBay. A lot of them are fake. A lot of those, if you click on them, they're accepted offers. No one paid. They are automatically relisted. Or you have these high auctions for single items. Princess Diana for one of them that a lot of times do go unpaid and are relisted. With that being said, they are overproduced. They do sell okay in lots though. Like people lot them up. So if you can get them for super cheap, 10 cents, 20 cents a piece, something like that, you can put them in massive lots of 20, 30, 40 of them at a time and get, $1, $2 a piece for them. And you'll make your money for just like my VHS. But I would say is they don't, unfortunately, they don't bring much money on there. Individually, I said recommend, they're overabundant, so recommend putting in lots. Me personally, I would.
So I kind of go the other way with Beanie Babies. Most people are like, I wouldn't buy them anymore, but if I was just starting out, I would. I got a bunch for 10 to 15 cents, like Rod said. I stopped comping them because the majority are not worth anything. Like, they're not worth much. They are not typically worth putting on an auction. I sold all of mine for $9.99 free shipping. So I got about $5 per beanie, and I paid a quarter, 20 cents. So they were $4 profit. I got 200 of them. That's $800, and they did sell pretty fast. So I quit attempting to look them up because there are a lot of those fakes and that money laundering and a bunch of mess. And I just sold them for $9.99 each. So my suggestion would not be to auction them. It would be to list them, buy it now. And most of them are only going to go for $10 free shipping. There might be a few. I don't know them. You can comp them, but when you comp them, I would look at the lower end of what they're selling for. Don't look at those outliers that are really high. But I don't think beanies are auction items. I think they should be on buy it now. There's just way too many of them. Auction items typically do better if they're higher in demand and less supply. There's no shortage of supply of Beanie Babies out there. Again, if I was new, I would do it again for 20 cents, make $5, $5.
Yeah.
Now I prefer more profit, but if I was in the beginning, I would do it again. I'm going to answer this question, and then Marcia so nicely reminded me we're past our giveaway time. Sometimes I get carried away and I don't look at the clock. Charlene asked if I do pretty good on Whatnot with the jewelry. Yes and no. My averages are down by about 50 to 60% right now on my sales average. I'm still making a little bit of money. I had a week there where no shows made any money. I was net zero on them. I started doing no cataloging. I'm changing it up. I'm adding in linens. I think it was just time to mix it up. I've been on there a year. We've sold 25,000 items on Whatnot in a year. Less than 1 day shipping time. Pretty impressive numbers over there. But I will get $10 for something that I could sell on eBay for 50 to 60. So to tell you I don't cringe sometimes and be like, hello, people, I do that because I know this will sell all day long for $50 on eBay, but I want to bring, valuable stuff on there so there's room for profit. Like that, I'd be happier with 15 than 10. I'm not expecting 50. I don't want you guys to think I'm expecting eBay prices on there. I'm not. But I'm expecting a little bit more sometimes and I don't get it. Sometimes they go higher than eBay prices and surprise the heck out of me. So it kind of evens out. But on Whatnot, for me, it is the fast nickel versus the slow dime on eBay. Am I going to let you have it for 10 or am I going to wait 6 months for $50 on eBay? I would rather let you have it for 10. I make a quick $5 and I sell 300 pieces a week. So I do very, very well, but I've been doing 5, 6, 7 shows a week for almost a year. So I've built up that audience over time and time again being there. But I've seen people with no social media following in the jewelry category do very, very well if you have the named and really nice stuff. If you have the right merchandise, you will get the people. You will not get eBay prices. Do not expect to get eBay prices on Whatnot. I would say expect to get 30 to 50% of what you'll get on eBay in general, if you have a good audience. If you don't, you're probably only going to get 10% of what you're going to get on eBay. But it's fast. You put it up, it sells the same day, and it goes. You got to kind of weigh your options. I do pull, I will pull fast selling names. I pull out of Whatnot. If I know it'll sell in a month really fast, I will pull it and put it on eBay, and I'll take that $50. So I do that. But I buy all inventory for Whatnot, and then if I find those few pieces that I'm like the Christian Dior's that I just sold, I pulled those out. They sold in a week. You know, so if I have names like that, I will pull them, but I do pretty good overall.
Kat, I'm going to go back to the Beanie Babies for 1 second.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the giveaway, so that's perfect.
Okay, so here's one thing. Finders Keepers Reso, Tony on Instagram posted this up the other day. I thought was pretty fascinating that if anyone does get big lots of Beanie Babies and you don't donate them, actually don't take them to like your Salvation Army or your Goodwill, stuff like that. Take them to your local firehouse, because a lot of times what they do is, because they're so small with the tags on, when they go to like if they go to calls and stuff like that, they actually give them to the kids if there's a domestic dispute, if there's something going on, if they go to help someone who's hurt or something like that, they try to calm the kids down. They actually give it to the kids. So they said they get a bunch of them. That's where they donate it. So keep that in mind, guys. Something to do. They look for small plushes, small stuffed animals that actually have tags on them, brand new, to give to the kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. Derrick, what do you want me to do the keyword? Let's give away your steamer first. What do you want to make the keyword?
DL.
Hashtag DL?
Yep, hashtag DL. Let me grab the steamer real fast so you can show.
Yeah.
Yep. Derrick's going to get the steamer. I'm going to share this screen with you guys. Put in hashtag DL. If I can get it to behave. Here we go. Yeah. Hashtag DL. Derrick has a new steamer he's going to give away. Yeah, and Kate said any first responder. Well, Derrick's getting that, and then I'll make him big, too, when he comes back. Holy questions. Guys, we have 38 questions. We better talk real fast. I'm going to make you big, Derrick.
Whoa,
so you can show them.
Calm down, Kat.
No, I show them the thing they can win. Big, make it live and in living color.
All right.
I just heard that song in my head, by the way. In living color. Okay, anyways.
This is a Rowenta all-in-one iron steamer. This thing has free closet dust. That comes free of charge. Yes.
That's like my free hair with jewelry.
Yes. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Y'all see the original price that was on there? I got it in like a lot of stuff. So 2-in-1 steamer and press. That's what I'm giving away.
Perfect. Hashtag DL. Oh, I don't know how to put us back with it. Uh-oh.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on. Maybe if I remove it and then add it. I don't know what I'm doing. I just
what are you doing right now?
She's doing the Regina, because Regina be doing that too.
Hot Mess Express is showing up, guys.
Okay, wait. Let's see what this button does.
There, you pressed it. I just did it. You need to press the screen layout, which has the two people on the side with the box in the center.
I hit it too at the same time.
She's always taking my credit. Always taking the credit.
All right, we're going to give away some other stuff too, but thank you, Derrick, for giving them an awesome steamer.
My pleasure.
So we got 130, 140 people already.
Yeah, nice. Let's try and get 10 more. We got 418 people in here. If you're watching on Facebook, you can enter too, guys. Hashtag DL. StreamYard pulls from Facebook and YouTube. Sing, Cat, sing. They always tip me when I sing on Whatnot. Thank you.
Okay.
Did you guys watch In Living Color? That used to be one of my favorite shows.
Of course. That's a
yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Loved it.
I can hear it. When I said that, I'm like, oh, now that song's in my head. That's what I do on Whatnot, too. I say something, then I start, like, going off.
Living Color was so groundbreaking, and there's so much stuff on there that you couldn't play on today's TV because people are way too sensitive. But it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I see this. That's what I say about Married with Children. Married with Children is well before time, and it is. You could not that show would not last. They'd be canceled in the first episode. It was up on right now.
Right.
All right, 153. Let's pick a winner. And Derrick, you can tell them how to contact you. Dun, 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 dun.
Who's getting it?
Who got it? Who got it?
TJ.
Ping.
G. Okay, Ping
G.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
Congrats, Ping G.
All you have to do is hit me up on Instagram. Just send me a message on Instagram. Send me your address, name and address, and I will get this sent off by the end of the week. My name is Fundmentalz on Instagram.
Fun. And if I don't Ping, are you on? I don't know if I've ever seen her on Instagram. Do you have an email she can email if she's not on Instagram?
Absolutely. I'll drop it in the chat right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
She doesn't have it. Yeah, I didn't think I'd seen her over there. Hashtag my go-to tape. Thank you to Joel from American Bubble Boy for giving us tape when we bugged him and asked him. You guys, we ran out of giveaways and said you wanted more tape. I asked Joel. Joel gave us more tape. So hashtag my go-to tape. You'll get 6 rolls. If you have not tried it, it's amazing tape. It's all we're using since Joel put it out. It's thick. It's nice. It's not flimsy eBay tape. I know that is a thing. Some of you love it. If you love it, that's fine. But you need like 3 layers of eBay tape to equal 1 normal layer of tape. If you're selling heavy stuff. And if you don't win, you get 5% off of tape all the time on American Bubble Boy with code The Nurse Slipper.
Kat, I met Joel for the first time over the weekend. And
I've not met him, and we talked so much on the phone,
so,
and we've never met him.
My drunk self, first thing I said him was like, "You look totally different than what I expected." Because he's young. He's like, I expect this like old guy in the corner who just sells like bubble wrap. I don't know. Is what he was like so much. He just started laughing. He's like, I get that a lot. So,
and Ping, my email is just my name @gmail.com. So fundmentalz@gmail.com.
Perfect. Ping G, you got that? It's in the middle of craziness of hashtag my go-to tapes.
Yes.
Let us know if you got it, Ping G. All right. Let's go ahead and pick.
Did Kevin just enter this contest? Commonwealth Picker's entering the contest for get his own tape.
It's not his tape. It's Joel's tape.
I know, but still, it's funny.
Listen, buddy. Don't give him your code in my chat, Kevin. All right. Let's pick a winner. 144, and then we'll give away 2 packs of Giaro Pack, any size you want, for free, mailed to you from Giaro Pack. Dun da da da! Sandy B.
Sandy B. Congratulations.
Sandy B. She was gonna give it to you, or she. I just called Kevin a she. Kevin was gonna give it to Rod, but not anymore. Okay. Yes, I'm going with the mailers, Mike. I'm going with the mailers. We got it. So Sandy, email me thenurseflipper@yahoo.com. All I need is you to email me. I'm going to send you a coupon code. All right. Dun, da, da, da. 2 winners. 2 winner. Poly mailer dinner. I don't know. Hashtag GRO pack. They have the cheapest. Everybody knew they entered before I even put it.
Yeah, GR Pack's awesome. You watch my new
this
video.
This is my giant one. We used 2 of these today. I sold a pillow and I sold a throw blanket, and they work good. They are the cheapest that you will find. I can tell you because I buy 2,000 of them a month for whatnot. But with GRO Pack, if you win, you need to email me the color and size you want. Go look and see what's in stock on their website. Color and size you want, and your mailing address. That's the rules for that. And well, listen, Derrick, if I would have known, I would have entered to win me a steamer. Did I just see you? I don't need a steamer. I won't like that. I won't use it. What is her name? Rachel Strickland told me about her. I keep seeing her like steam cleaning, and I'm like, she's making me want to buy this like steam, the steam cleaners for cleaning. And I'm like, I did that once before and didn't use the darn thing. I'm like, I'm like, oh, I need this, and then I don't use it. So
she's influencing you.
Yeah, imagine that. Social media. 10% off on GRO Pack too, guys. They're already the cheapest price. 10% off the Nurse Flipper code. We got 151. We're going to pick 2 winners. You can keep entering. I'm going to draw 2 winners. Let's see who the first one is. And then we'll get back to the questions. Da, 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 da.
We got
Patricia Lingo.
Nice.
Congratulations.
We're going to draw it again. They give us 2 free a week. Let's do it again. Patricia, email me thenurseflipper@yahoo.com. Go look and see what kind you want on their website and send me your mailing address. Okay, let's go. Da, 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 da.
Let's get it. Who we got?
Ellie
Ellie.
Jones.
Ellie.
Nice.
Congratulations, Ellie.
Congratulations, Ellie.
What was dun da dun? It was like we had sound effects for a minute.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whose phone that was. Who's?
Yeah, Rod.
Okay.
Rod over there on
Sue-
TikTok.
Sue sent me my tip for singing, and I can't give her a super chat on whatnot, so I'm gonna give her one here. Here you go. Thank you so much. That was actually, I think that's the last time we went to the beach. We're going to the beach again this weekend. I'm going to do a big buy in South Florida, and I'm lucky. One of my viewers has a beach house down south, and we're getting a good deal on it. So
Nice.
We're staying the whole weekend and renting a 26-foot U-Haul truck. I probably will do a video and some other stuff that I didn't plan on doing, and surprisingly, it was my husband's idea. I'm going to do a video on it.
What are you picking up?
Sounds fun too.
600 plus boxes.
Oh, the boxes. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Plus, I'm looking at other stuff. I don't know if it will be in my pocketbook. I don't even use a pocketbook. Why did I say pocketbook like my grandma?
Yeah, that's old as hell.
I don't know if it's in my pocketbook's budget, but I'm definitely getting the boxes, and they have some merchandise that I can look at. So hopefully I will have more stuff, I hope, than the boxes. But I mean, it's 700 boxes. That's plenty of stuff. Plenty of stuff. Mark sent a $5 super chat. You're really late if you just got here, buddy. All right.
Yeah, it's
here,
$5 for every hour. He needs to start paying.
you need $7.50, an hour and a half. Here you go.
Kat, we almost have 40 questions, so it's
I
time
know.
to start powering through these.
Okay. We'll try. Okay,
Short
talk
form,
really
here we go.
fast. Short form. When you want to end all listings and sell similar, if you have 4 items, does it count as another 400 listed for the month? Only one of us needs to answer this.
Yes.
Good answer. Look, I feel like, what's that? Oh, I'll shut up. Wanda said, I recently purchased at a yard sale 402 sets of salt and pepper shakers for $35. Holy crapoly. Lady just wanted them gone. 85% vintage. I think I got a great deal. What do you think?
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
We talk about you buy things for cents on the dollar, so you make your money in the buy, not the sell. So you did one hell of a job. Put
That's
that way.
awesome.
That is amazing. That's like a cat buy. That's better than a cat buy. I don't know that I've got them that cheap. Because you figure if they're $10 each, you're making $4,000 off a $35 profit.
Wanda,
purchase.
congrats. She just became a salt and pepper expert.
Yes.
You are now. That's what happens when I go on one thing. Everybody thinks I know everything about it, but it's just my thing of the week, and I try and learn as much as I can. Cape Cod resellers, have you gone over the eBay fall seller update, and what are your thoughts on changes?
I have gone over it. My thoughts are as expected. They still didn't address the thing we really want to get done. And that's it.
And I haven't looked at it.
I think the biggest takeaway is that now for everybody now, when offers are sent out, automatic payment is supposed to be going through right away. So I think that's the biggest takeaway. I mean, welcome to 2012, guys. It's finally here, so I'm glad.
Yeah, I have not. I won't lie. I hardly ever read the seller updates. I just hear stuff out in the community and figure out what the heck's going on. I don't read them. Do any of us still use Facebook Marketplace? I think we answered this one already. About shipping, when eBay asks you for weight and package dimensions, you're answering the question before you pack it and weigh it. Do you just guesstimate?
Try not to guesstimate. You get to a certain point to where you kind of know already, but you want to be as accurate as possible.
And for me, I can't lie, y'all. I just guess. And then when when the item sells, then I do the right dimensions then, because I don't want to get any fees to come back to me. So
I keep a tape measure and a scale right next to me when I'm listing. So I just throw it on there, and then I just add an extra, a couple ounces for the box and for packaging supplies. But usually if you start selling a lot of the similar items, you already know, you can almost guesstimate what it's going to be. And even if you mess up, you get the shipping discount on eBay. So it kind of makes up for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I just guesstimate because I've been doing it so long. What I suggest if you're new is sit the item on the scale, sit a box, not even folded together, just a flat box and a couple of sheets of bubble wrap or paper, and then you'll have a pretty close guesstimate to what it's going to end up being. If you're new, you could even weigh the boxes, like a 4x6x8 weighs this, a 8x8x8 weighs this, and then weigh your item, just if you're new until you start getting used to it. I do tell my listers, if it's something that doesn't look heavy, but it is, to weigh it for me. Because if I think it's going to weigh 1 pound, it weighs 3, I'm going to lose money because I'm going to guess 1. So they know if it's something really heavy, they will weigh it and put the actual weight in for me. As far as measurements, as long as it's not over 12 by 12 by 12 total, 36 inches, the size of the box really does not matter unless it's over 21 inches on one side, like a long skinny box, and then they'll hit you with a fee. But yeah, so you'll end up knowing if you're selling similar items. Ellie wants to know, in your opinion, is Photo Room the best app for taking and displaying pictures?
There's a lot of great apps out there. So in my opinion, there's a lot of great apps out there. Use what you feel like is best for you.
Yes. I like to use, well, Derrick, you told me about the iPhone, how you can press on the picture and clear the background on it. So I like to use that. And I also like to use the tool in eBay.
So I think by hands down is the best app out there. And the reason for that is I can bulk edit and also use AI backgrounds. The AI backgrounds has been a game changer for clothing for me. And a lot of my items sell faster using that quick picture background.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the AI photos for my high-end stuff, I put the AI on, make it look like the jewelry's on satin and things like that. I think it does help them sell faster and look like a little more upscale. So
Regina, we'll show you that later.
Tell me. I want to know about the AI.
Yeah, it's you'll love it.
It's amazing. I wonder if I'm sure I got some here. It's amazing. Like it's a game changer. I think. Like here's
if anyone
one.
wants to use,
the Isle of Capri. Look at that brooch. Like I put that I wanted it on a beach background. It does. Yeah, it's like super. Purses too. If you do purses, the purse ones are really, really great. I'm trying to. Oh, like look with the earrings. That's actually the Christian Dior's that sold.
Okay. So, send me that app.
The cool thing is, if you guys don't know about it, is if you have a pair of like football cleats, it actually knows to put it on a football field. If I have a pair of basketball shoes, I put it on a basketball court. It's crazy. Like I had a picture of a guy named Pablo Cruz. His name was a musician, and I took a picture of the hat and put a Cruz in the background. And it picks up like little things like that.
2 seconds, Jack. 2 seconds. Yeah. Same as putting a white background. It's nice. It's super fast. You can only do one photo at a time, not 50 like you can for the white, but it's super fast.
And our friends at the Reselling Network, Information Network, actually have a code if anyone wants to use it, RIN, if anyone wants to sign up for
Photo Room won't answer me.
Yeah.
Do you think that no prep to clothing lowers your ASP?
I think it depends on what type of clothing it is. And how it looks laid out and pictured. But a lot of times I don't prep clothing either. It just depends on how it looks coming out on the camera.
I always prep my clothing. I wash my items and I steam them and I put them on my mannequin and make sure the lighting is real good. And that's how I make my sales because that's what I primarily sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me is I buy profits, not projects. I try to do as little prep as possible the clothing because I have so much stuff to do. But it does take clean up a pair of shoes goes a long way, though. I will say that. But I try to avoid having to clean clothes as much as possible. If I do, try to make it very minor. But it does help out, I think. Especially using the AI background, adding little things like that. Anything you can do to better your listing is always going to help.
Yeah, so I want to put this up there because Kevin said the code only works up when you sign on the computer. I don't think they even told us that when they were on the show. So that is something really good to know.
Yeah.
So code RIN only works on the computer, guys. Thank you, Kevin, for letting us know that. I think I agree with Derrick. It depends on what you're selling. I sell a lot of vintage tees and stuff. I don't prep, and I don't think it affects my ASP. Not like they're typically not horrible. Like I said, if they're really bad, I'll throw them in the dryer on the steam. But I don't think that it lowers my ASP. I also don't measure clothing, so
most of the time I don't on clothing measure. It just depends. Like I said, it just depends on the article of clothing.
I think like vintage that runs smaller. Than like a typical size. But I feel like, and this is just my opinion, most people that are shopping on eBay, like if I go on there, I'm shopping for a brand I know I've already worn, I know my size. So unless it looks like it's shrunk, like it's an XXL, and I'm like, there's no way, then I might measure it. But otherwise, I feel like people are shopping for brands they're already wearing for the most part. James wants to know if any of us have dealt with a company named USZCN International Logistics. Don't know how an international buyer purchased an item when I have international shipping turned off.
I have not. It sounds real sketchy.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
So I haven't dealt with that company, but I have dealt with many other companies. So there's actually a couple companies set up in the U.S. They've been around since the beginning of eBay. And what they would do is to avoid, back in the day, it was really hard to ship international. You're kind of the Wild West. So these companies were made up that would handle all the international shipping. They would charge the buyers a fee, just like how eBay's adapted that. There's actually independent companies that used to do that back in the day. And they're still around today. There's one that specializes just in like the Asian market as well. They're based out of like Seattle area, but they do have a couple shipping centers across the country as well.
Yeah, so I don't recognize that name, but there are two companies I know in Seattle, and I think there are a few that I have had quite a few sales. I would, like, it almost sounds like you're mad it happened, and I would say you should ship international. It's not any different than shipping to the States. And here's a good side note. If your buyer is that international forwarding company, which is what that is, then once it gets to them safely, you are good to go. So like, that's it. It needs to get to them. I had it where one time somebody did that and it went to another country, and all I did, like, they wanted to return it. And I said, I shipped this item to Seattle, and so you're welcome to turn it back. They're like, well, I'm in whatever country it was. I don't remember. And just having that in the message, eBay sided with me and refused their return. So you just got to get it to that freight forwarding company, and that is it. Erin says she's getting them out of Houston, Delaware, and Seattle. So and as long as you get it to them, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm happy. It's more sales. And really, it's not the end buyer. There are a couple I know with my high-end teacups, like $500 and more, they will write me before they buy it and say, are there any chips or any scratches that you don't have disclosed? Can you please double check? So they do go kind of the extra step for the buyer, because they know once they get it and ship it off to that buyer, like, that's it. They can't do anything about it.
The shipping one in Seattle, they actually have a full website you can go to. I forget the name of it, but they actually have probably like 40 people that work in that office. So it's a big operation. They've been doing it for a while, and they actually have a satellite office in like the UK, I think, as well.
Yeah, and I mean, they can buy my whole store. I don't care. I mean, it's more sales. A couple hunters says, how do you price your items when cross-listing? Do you keep the same price on all platforms, even though one is sold higher or on one specific one?
Yeah. When I import and do my cross-listing, I leave the price as is and just keep it moving.
I don't use cross-listing because I don't have a whole lot of items. But some things sell higher on Poshmark, so I will price items a little higher depending on what it is on Poshmark than eBay.
I would say for my lower end items, I will add maybe an extra $1 or $2 when I cross-list the Macari in the Posh, because those fees are going to be higher than eBay. But majority of the time, I just keep it the same.
Yeah, so I price up my Etsy items 30%. On Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, I leave them. On Etsy, I price them up. But I actually have started doing the same thing on Etsy I do on eBay. I price them up and I run a constant sale on Etsy, and it's been getting me a lot more sales. So really, the answer is the price is the same across all 4 platforms. I'm just running a sale on eBay and Etsy to get it down to that. On Posh and Mercari, the sale price is the actual price that I put on there. Some stuff would sell higher on Etsy before I started doing the sale. I'm just finding, like, if I match that eBay price, stuff sells faster. When listing, it makes you check yes or no to combine shipping. What happens if you say yes? I think don't you have to have shipping policies set up for that to really work? Because I have yes on, but it doesn't combine stuff for people for me.
Yeah,
because I don't have policies.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kat, you have to have the shipping policies to do it.
Meg says, if someone asks for shipping, how do I figure it out? So if you have calculated shipping on, you should tell them to look on their eBay screen and it will tell them the correct amount for shipping. So you don't figure it out and they don't figure it out. eBay calculates it for you from their zip code to your zip code. And then as long as you put the right measurements and weight in, you'll be good to go.
I always tell buyer to add it to their cart, because in that way they're leaving the cart. They get constant reminders about my item all day long.
Yeah. Molly wants to know if you've experienced a sudden increase of buyers from China.
I have not. I have experienced quite a few from Puerto Rico as of late. I'm not understanding what's going on, but yeah.
I sold something in Puerto Rico today and I was laughing about it. I can't remember what it was.
I haven't experienced any, but they can come. Y'all can send them my way.
Yeah, I haven't, but same as her. Send them my way. I'll take any buyers from anywhere. I don't care. Money's money.
Oh, I remember. I sold a shower curtain to Puerto Rico, a hummingbird shower curtain sold in 2 days to Puerto Rico. I always get a lot of buyers from China on my high dollar teacups and breakables. A lot of that does go to China. But I haven't been listing a lot, so I haven't seen any increase, but I've never had an issue. Like, most of my high dollar teacups have went to China.
There's a whole Puerto Rican algorithm on here.
Come on, they can say, listen, I don't care who it is. Send them my way. If they pay, I don't care where it's going. Thank you. Vintage Drifter, MCM Sifter says, not a question, but a handsome and beautiful panel tonight. Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Regina's looking real handsome tonight.
And Derrick is looking very pretty.
He's so pretty. Kim says, on eBay, when you create a multi-quantity listing, is there a way to charge full shipping for the first item and discount the additional items if it's the same listing?
Yes, ma'am, it is. You have to do it from a desktop or a laptop, of course, and it actually gives you an option in there to give discounts on multiple purchased items on that under the same listing. It should be right there under the options.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easier than combining two. Like, I can get this to work when I have multiples of one, but I can't get it to work when it's two different things. Miss Barbara, who does amazing artwork on Whatnot, if you're not following her, I bought 2 Christmas presents from her. I don't think she knew the first one was, but she hand paints on vintage books, and it's super cool. So you still have the book. It's like a table reader, and she paints the cover. Anyways, she says Michael's has a marketplace for handmade items. Is anyone using that platform? You guys can answer her in the chat too.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. That's a first. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one either.
Yeah, when we had LL from Handmade and Beyond on here, we actually talked about it there briefly. So he'd be a good person to reach out to if you have any questions on YouTube. Handmade and Beyond. He answers. He does a lot of stuff with Etsy, and he's a handmade seller as well. So,
yeah. Randomly Beautiful Collectibles says, how does Poshmark work? I just started LP and was contemplating adding another platform, but I don't know much about Posh.
I just been selling on Posh for 5-6 months now, And Lisette has helped me out tremendously. If you have any questions about Poshmark, reach out to Lisette. I know it's key to get one of those robots or whatever it is to help share. The key is sharing your
That
Posh
is Lisette.
items.
That is who he's saying to reach out to, guys.
New England Betty Boop.
Yeah, so she's helped me out a lot. It's really easy platform to list on. It's simple, and I post everything on there. I sell a little bit of everything on there, but I know the key is sharing your closet. Share. And it's good to get one of those little AI things to help you with that.
Yes, I've just started back selling on Poshmark. Poshmark is a very interactive platform. You got to do a lot of sharing, like Derrick said. Poshmark doesn't sell international, right? It's just
No, it's just in the States. Yeah, no international.
Yeah, but definitely get the List Perfect or one of those apps to use for listing. And they do lives now.
I tried it, Regina. It was horrible for me. It was so bad. I did 1.5. I did like 5 items in the second show. I'm like, you guys know where to find me. We're going somewhere else. And we went to Whatnot. Tiffy Pie, who was on with us, does amazing on there because she does clothes and stuff. I was trying to do my jewelry and it was not working. I haven't
tried the live on Posh yet, but I plan to.
I think you do good with it because you do a lot of clothes and Posh is like, I sell almost all non-clothes on there, but Posh has started around clothes. So I think the lives, clothes.
Yeah.
Rod?
Yeah. I don't sell really much on Posh today, to be honest with you. Sorry. I'm really trying to take care of the problem.
I use One Shop for Posh. It shares my closet continually. It also will send automatic offers to likers for 20% off as well. And that's where most of my sales come from. And it does all the sharing. So I don't do any of the social stuff. I have an app. I pay $40 a month, but it gets me most of my Posh sales. And what I like too is it will delist stale listings and refresh them for you automatically on Posh and Mercari, which is beautiful. And if you're not selling that much on Posh, it actually, because I didn't have many Posh sales when I first started it, they messaged me and said, you're getting less than, it was like $250 a month in Posh sales. They lowered it to only $8 a month instead of $40. And then when I got above the threshold, they increased it back. But they did it without, like, I wasn't asking. It was pretty cool, I thought, for a company to be like, hey, we're going to charge you less because you aren't making, X amount of sales. So if you guys want that link, just message me on Instagram and I'll give you that link. I have like a $10 off coupon, I think, that you can use.
Send that to me.
I have to try that. Yes, send that to me.
I love it. I've been using it almost a year. I think Jess, because she's big on Posh. She's who told me about it. And that's where like almost all of my sales and most of my Mercari sales I've been noticing have been coming from it listing stale listings too. So I think it pays for itself for sure.
I got a question for the panel here. When you guys are listing on Poshmark, are you just listing your clothes or are you listing everything?
I list everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Posh is always going to be clothing, and that they're going to push clothing. They don't want to go outside of clothing. That's their thing. But they've been very open to accepting other stuff coming in. Yeah, but they're always going to be clothing, which they should because they do a great job of it.
Yeah. Like my sales, I think I did a Posh sales video. Like 80% were not clothing items.
Wow.
They were like household toys, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
and I know she lists everything.
Yep. Miss Donna says, I'm just what?
people are requesting for whatever they're requesting your link or whatever you're just talking about.
Okay, I'll get it. Read the question while I find it.
Hi, I just started out to sell. I just found all of you. Any advice will help. I have new clothes and slightly worn. New clothes tags are around $60 to $240 coats. I don't understand the question. What is the question? I guess any advice will help. So I guess just starting out, new seller with clothing, brand new clothing. What kind of advice would you give them?
drop your expectations and look at your comps.
Yeah.
Right. Meaning, the tag can say one thing, but they're going to truly tell you what it's selling for by looking up the sold comps. You can click, if you scan the barcode or type it in, it's going to give you a bunch of listings. I'm trying to break it down to the simplest way. It's going to give you a bunch of listings. Go over to the side and click the sold, and it tells you truly what it's selling for. I can list this screwdriver right here for $8,000 if I wanted to. Don't mean it's going to sell for $8,000.
It's a nice screwdriver.
Yeah, that's a nice screwdriver, man. It's made of vibranium. But but if you go to the sold comps, it'll tell you exactly what those items are selling for and tell you where you should price your items and how fast you want to move it.
Yes, get them listed, check those comps, put a best offer on it so you can kind of meet in the middle with the buyer.
I will tell you, before I came here, the reason I was kind of late, I was coming back from massive pickup, and I literally just bought a brand new Gucci sweater, and the tag said it was $640 in that tag. And when I was working with the seller trying to get him, he was trying to get me, he wanted me, he's like, oh, we'll do it for $300. I'm looking at comps, and comps for other sellers that were sitting, similar ones were going about half price. So if it's $640, I'm expecting to get maybe $350, $400 for this thing, some in that ballpark, and we were able to get it down. But yeah, you just never know, man. You just got to look at those comps, and Derrick hit the nail on the head. Expect lower your expectations, because just because what that tag says doesn't mean that's what you're gonna get.
Right.
I agree 100%. You can see something for $1,000 and it won't sell for 10 on eBay. You got to check. It does not matter what that tag says. It might sell for more too. That's when it's beautiful. It might be worth more, but a lot of times it's worth significantly less. So be very, very careful.
Aaron said,
Mike wants to know which one of us has used more than one cross-posting site and what you find the easiest to use.
Man, I use a sleeper site, man. I use a site called Crosslisting. It's called crosslisting.com. It's a newer site, and it has exceeded my expectations for using it. There's a lot of great sites out there now, a lot. Whereas before it was just a couple here and there, but I found this one and it works for me very, very, very well. So
I haven't tried any.
So I preach about this all the time on here. I think List Perfectly is, some people may not think it's the best cross-listing out there. I love their cross-listing software, but it's the community and the support they give you goes above and beyond. And they have Facebook groups that you can go in there. You have listing parties. Reselling is a very lonely place. So it does help a lot of people to have to chat with people to list, get extra motivation. So the added benefits that List Perfectly does goes above and beyond the whole cross-listing aspect. It's the extras that really push them to the next level, in my opinion.
It's an amazing community. And guys, auto delist is here. They are auto ending on the other platforms if it sells on one now. It is out. Clara actually messaged me personally. She is amazing, the co-founder of List Perfectly, and said, Kat, you've got to do it. The auto delister is here. She got me hooked up. It is here. So if it sells on eBay, List Perfectly will end it on Mercari, Posh, and Etsy if you have it listed through them. It is here. So we love, I agree with Rod. I think I tried Vendu and I hated it at the time, but that was 3 years ago. I've been using nothing but List Perfectly 3 years, and their community alone to me makes it worth it. And it's easy to use. My mom's 73. She does all of my cross posting for me. So it's very functional for her to be able to use it. That's what my mom does for me. And just a community, like Rod said, and they have like a Facebook group. The support is absolutely amazing on there. And somebody was asking what cross posting is. It's when you take your listings from eBay or Poshmark, whatever your main one is, and you can just click a couple buttons and it lists it on other sites like Mercari, Etsy, and that way more eyes see it. And like I said, now they have the auto delist feature. So that is amazing. Molly wants to know if I have international buyers on jewelry on whatnot. We do. I would say 1 to 2 a show is about what we get. And I do open up all of my giveaways to international buyers. A lot of people don't, because even on a 4-ounce item, if you win from me and you're international, I have to pay $15 in shipping. So it is kind of hard on sellers, but I do personally, I turn it on. I know I have a couple people in Canada, and then I had somebody somewhere else. I can't remember where, but yes, I do get international buyers.
So the reason why I was out of it a minute ago was I was trying to fix a glitch on eBay, and I just got a $249 video game sale. Sold an Atari video game for $249.
Nice.
From Target?
No, Atari.
Oh.
Like old school, before NES, before Nintendo, Atari. So
Nice.
it's funny. I just talked about that in my video today too, and it sold. Like how that happens.
You touch stuff too. I found like 3 things today, because I'm trying to pay attention when I'm pulling, because I don't do inventory, and I'm like, this is like a super cute ornament. Why isn't it sold? It's not listed. So I'm trying to grab a few things each day and like check them and make sure they're still listed. Molly says, some people on eBay list jewelry at such a low price. How can they profit after shipping costs? If you look at where most of those jewelry pieces are coming from, they're coming from China and overseas. So if you filter to the US, I guarantee you're not going to see those same prices in shipping. But that's what makes it so hard to sell jewelry on eBay, is because you do have competition from China for like $2.99 free shipping. I don't know how their shipping works and what cost they get it for, but there are a lot of things there, and they will beat you down. So for eBay, unless it's named or very, very like easy to keyword jewelry, I don't list it there. There's just so much competition for jewelry on eBay.
Yeah.
Miss Barbara, seller receives its shipping discount from eBay, and what the buyer pays and the difference goes to the seller. Is that correct?
So seller receives a shipping discount from eBay, and what the buyer pays, and the difference goes to the seller. Correct. And I keep it. Hey, I keep it unless they ask for it. I keep it, man. So slide me the extra 75 cents. I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah, I keep it as well, unless it's combined shipping and the buyer reaches out to me, asks me if I do combined shipping. I said, absolutely, I'll give you a shipping discount. But you guys have to remember that we're paying taxes on those shipping fees. We're paying for boxes, packaging supplies, gas, my time. So that extra discount might be 50 cents, $1. But if I'm selling hundreds of items, that adds up real quick.
Yeah, and you know what? I was surprised on eBay yesterday. It popped up. Do you want to give the buyer your eBay discount? That's the first time I've ever seen that. I'm like, no, because that's what pays for my shipping supplies. But it popped up on the front page of eBay. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Like, where is this? Yeah, and I've never seen that. It was crazy. We got a new member. Da-da-da. Julianne, welcome. So we went next Thursday. Is that right? Yes. Next Thursday, I'll be doing listing reviews. This Saturday, I think, is sourcing. And then I do live shipping every other Monday, which is next Monday. So thank you for joining. You guys can check out the different levels. If you click join, it'll show you the different ones. And here's your dolphin, Miss Julie.
Welcome to the flipping family.
That's an old one too. Can you tell?
It's not as bad as that first one, Kat, the original.
You guys remember Emily Conway?
Yes, of course.
Emily Conway made those for me.
Of course.
That's her voice. The dolphin is Emily Conway.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. All right. I know which super chat Miss Barbara likes. Miss Barbara sent a $5 super chat. She likes the pillow fight. Here you go.
Yes.
Those kids act like they're 3 years apart, not 16. Like the 21-year-old fights with him like she's 5.
I never want to see dog get attacked by a dolphin ever again in my life.
Oh my gosh. This is a good question too from Biscuit Butt. He will be on the show with us coming up soon too, guys. He will be on the panel. He wants to know what made you all decide to get into the YouTube world.
I got into it. I dove, just like most resellers, I dove into it trying to learn information. and I got information. I felt like I could add to it somehow, some way. So I started a YouTube channel, and my son thought it was cool. And that was it.
I got in it for COVID happened and I was kind of bored, and I was already in some Facebook groups, and I felt like having a YouTube channel would connect me more with the community. I think people relate to you better when they can see your face and personality. So
yeah, so when I got into it, the whole purpose behind my channel for the picking and punching was I was doing professional wrestling, so I was traveling to a lot of shows, throughout the U.S., traveling to states and stuff like that. But on my way, I would leave a couple hours early, and I would pick along the way. So I thought it'd be really cool to have start a YouTube channel about a professional wrestler that's punching and picking his way across America. Hence, picking and punching. That's how Picking and Punching was born. So I started filming a bunch of stuff. Pandemic hit, canceled all my wrestling shows for the next year, and then I had this footage I just never put out. And then I just, I like the part about be able to educate people. I like the part being able to connect with the community. I just love being able to get the creative outlook. Gives me an escape from reselling, but still be in the reselling realm as well. Right. And because reselling could be a grind, but I mean, YouTube's even more of a grind sometimes, but it's a fun grind. I enjoy the process. I love it. And that's why I keep doing it.
I don't remember how I found YouTube. I had never, he shed so bad. Now I got cat hair all over me. Mm-hmm. So I somehow got into watching YouTube. I'd never watched YouTube before back in 2019. And I started, Brad let him in here and now he's being really loud. I don't know if y'all hear him. That's why he all of a sudden appeared. Brad was in here, but he gave up when he saw it.
I thought that was you. That's why they called you Cat. My bad.
I'm the cat lady. I do have lots of cats. So only Pig comes in the shed though. So somehow got into pallet videos. Do you guys remember like in 2019, like pallet unboxing and all that was really, really hot. Got into that. I actually got back on eBay in 2019 with pallet flipping. I was buying pallets, watching all these pallet videos. Somehow I found part-time picker Matt. He was doing what sold videos then. I learned a lot about like different stuff that was selling. And I am all about like the weird stuff that sells that everybody else walks by. Like I will go in the last day of an estate sale. Me too, TJ, me too. Every day. So I like the stuff that people don't know. And I was watching him and I'm like, he's helping me learn all this stuff, helping me make more money in my business. I can help people do the same thing. And I actually messaged him. I'm like, do you think you can do it? He like looked at how much I sold. He's like, your numbers are the same as mine. Yeah, I think you got the sales. You could show people what you're selling. And so my channel's been based off of what sold since I started, because that's what I really liked, because I liked watching it to learn more about what was selling like right now. And I think that's a great way to kind of expand your world into, different things that sell that you normally would walk by. I sold moss off the trees here in Florida before, free stuff out of my yard. So
wait, did you say you didn't start watching YouTube to 2019? Did I hear that correctly?
I had never watched it, and I never had an Instagram until I made my YouTube channel. I was like on Facebook
rock for a long time.
I wasn't social, I guess, until I got on YouTube. Now I have to be social. I don't have a choice. Somewhat, but so I love helping. I love seeing people make progress, telling me they learn from me, they're making more money. People in bad situations, getting out of them by reselling. I like helping and I love teaching. My thing has always been teaching, whether it's what sold videos or research videos, even my thrifting video. I can't keep the teacher out of it. Like I can't make these fun, crazy ones. I'm like, okay, I'm not picking this up because of the, like, I can't get out of teacher mode. So I love teaching. I'm going to grab one more. This I can answer really quick. Absolute fines. Is it necessary to make a thumbnail or preview video for Whatnot? What do you guys think if you're on Whatnot?
That's not necessary, but I think, to me, if you're brand new starting out, you should, just to kind of show people what you're all about. because there's a dime a dozen now, and it's flooded. So there's nothing wrong with doing a little preview if you're kind of newer out there. And then as you grow, you don't have to do it no more.
Right. Because I wouldn't even overthink a thumbnail for real if you just want to just put something up there real simple. Because I think Whatnot is about your following and being consistent and growing your following.
So I always say, if you own a storefront, would you put a sign in front of it? Yes, because you're going to get as much exposure as possible to you. So put your thumbnail, put that preview video up there, because it's only going to help you. It's not going to hurt you along the way.
So you have to make a thumbnail in order to do your show. Does it have to be extravagant? No, but you do have to have something. They won't let you do a show without having a thumbnail. I make them in Canva. Canva is free, and I have like 10 or 12 I use, and I just kind of recycle them. Sometimes I'll change the words really easy. I did notice I would make more money and more sales. I should listen to this myself if I made a preview video, because people would see stuff they wanted in it. And if I put it up on like Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, I would make more money doing it, because people would watch and be like, oh, I want that one thing. But it's hard for me to like lay all the stuff out all pretty to do a preview video. So most of the time I don't. And I've been doing just unboxing and selling here lately. But I think if you can, I think it would help somewhat.
Not to mention, people can go in and share your preview video if you do have one up there. So.
Yep.
Yeah, but for me, I couldn't get preview videos over 15 seconds to load on Whatnot, just as a note. Like, it would sit there and spin and spin and spin and never load.
Really? I have no problem when I do mine.
Yeah, maybe it's my country internet. That's very possible.
Cat's outside with aluminum foil and the coat hangers trying to get it to go past 15
Horrible.
seconds.
There's no wired internet where I live, guys. None is available.
Poor cat.
I'm in the middle of nowhere. We almost got them. We only have 12 left. I am going to let Derrick and Regina tell you guys bye and what they've got going on. And then Rod will tell you, as will I. And then I'll tell you guys who's going to be on with us next week. So here is Derrick.
Hey, Kat, thank you. Kat and Rod, thank y'all for letting us join y'all. You know, the dynamic duos in the house. You guys can check us out every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for a Hump Day Hangout. It's a real chill vibe. We have all kind of people on the show. We are resellers, but most of the time we don't talk about reselling. You never know what we're going to talk about, actually. It's so random. We've created a community over there that we're so grateful for. And it switches up on channels. So it'd be on my channel one week and on Regina's the week after. But it's the same time every single week, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully y'all come over and hang out. And thank y'all again for all the great questions. It was fun. And I always like doing this.
Perfect. Here's Miss Regina.
Yes, thank you all so much for having us on the show. Yes, check us out on Hump Day Hangout on Wednesdays. You can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Whatnot. I'm having a Whatnot show Saturday. It's going to be a Halloween raid with my friend Jen Multiverse. So make sure you all follow me on Whatnot. You can find me, my link in my YouTube channel.
Perfect.
But it will be Saturday at 7.
And we have links to both their channels, guys, in the description if you're not subscribed to them.
So for most of you guys on the East Coast, their show is at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Please, tomorrow, go check them out. I've been on there once before. It was a great time. Awesome. I highly recommend you guys check them out.
I've been on there, too.
Yeah,
they taught me about starring the comments. I love them forever. I never knew about that till I was on with them.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I dropped a brand new video today. Go check it out. It's actually for the Reseller Rally. I won picking with a bunch of other pickers. So definitely check that one out. And any questions that were not answered tonight, you guys can send me a message on IG or Facebook. Picking and punching across all platforms. I have a couple Whatnots coming up. Check out, follow me on Whatnot. We're doing in the month of October. I hit 1,000 followers, so we're going to have an all-free show. I'm going to give away everything for free, give away free 99 for everybody. So,
congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
That will be fun. There goes Pig again. next week, guys, Ken Hustleby will be on with us. He has never been on before. Super excited to have him on with us. And Jimmy, Old School Flips. It's been a long time. Jimmy's another one that's been around my channel for years and years. So super excited to have Jimmy back on as well. I am live like every day on Whatnot. I'm not going to lie. I've been doing 6 or 7 sales a week. But, okay, Pig. He's very loud. Tomorrow night is vintage linens and some amazing hand quilted patchwork stockings, Christmas stockings. So if you're looking for Christmas stockings or a gift, these are amazing. I'm just going to start them at probably at $3 or $5. And hankies, table linens. Oh, I went crazy on linens like I did on jewelry. I have like 400 pounds on my porch. So we're selling a lot of linens. And then Thursday, especially if you're a reseller, guys, sterling estate jewelry. A lot of it's going to be worth $50 to $100+ I'm going to start everything probably at $5. So make sure you come. I'll run 100 items. I'm just going to pull randomly. I'm doing a test this week. There is no cataloging with me and my OCD self. It is a little bit hard, but I'm surviving. And then Friday, we're going to do that amazing buy. I will probably do a video and tell you where I am putting 700 boxes. It was hard to find the space for 100. So look for a video on that next week. And yeah, I appreciate you all watching. Thank you, Derrick and Regina, for coming on. I greatly appreciate you too. And thank you all in the audience. We will see you guys next week. Bye.